Right now, sitting in your kitchen cabinet, there's something that could change how you feel every single day. It's not expensive. It's not hard to find. And chances are, you've walked past it 100 times without giving it a second thought. I'm talking about that little orange box of baking soda tucked behind your flour and sugar. Now I know what you might be thinking. Baking soda? That's just for cleaning and baking. But what if I told you that this humble white powder has been quietly helping folks over 65 tackle some of their most frustrating health challenges? What if this simple ingredient could help you finally get relief from that burning sensation that keeps you up at night? What if it could support your kidneys, ease discomfort, and even help with those stubborn aches that seem to multiply with each passing year? Here's the thing that most people don't realize. Throughout history, long before we had medicine cabinets full of prescriptions, people relied on simple, natural remedies that actually worked. And baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate as scientists call it, has been one of those quiet heroes for generations. The best part? It's safe when used properly, costs less than a cup of coffee, and you probably already have it in your home right now. But here's what's crucial. You need to know exactly how to use it, when to use it, and most importantly, when not to use it. Because like anything that can help your body, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share 7 specific ways that baking soda water can make a real difference in your daily comfort and well-being. These aren't just theories or wishful thinking. These are real solutions that real people, just like you, have discovered and benefited from. So if you're tired of accepting that discomfort is just part of getting older, if you're ready to take back control of how you feel each day, then stay with me, because what you're about to learn could be the gentle, natural boost your body has been waiting for. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 71, lives in a cozy home in Ohio, and for 3 years, she dreaded going to bed. Not because she wasn't tired, but because she knew what was waiting for her around 2 a.m. That burning. That awful, acidic burning that would crawl up from her stomach, into her chest, and sometimes even reach her throat. She'd wake up gasping, reaching for water, propping herself up with pillows, doing anything to make it stop. I felt like my own body was betraying me, Margaret told me, her voice soft but tired. I'd eaten the same foods for decades. Why was this happening now? Margaret had tried everything. She'd given up spicy foods, stopped eating late dinners, even slept sitting up in her recliner some nights. The over-the-counter antacids helped a little, but they were expensive, and she worried about taking them every single night. Then her neighbor, an 80-year-old retired nurse named Helen, shared something that sounded almost too simple to work. "Honey," Helen said, "try mixing half a teaspoon of baking soda in a small glass of warm water. Sip it slowly about an hour before bed." Margaret was skeptical. But that night, desperate for relief, she tried it. She mixed the baking soda carefully, stirred until it dissolved completely, and sipped it slowly while reading her evening book. For the first time in months, Margaret slept through the night. Here's what was happening in Margaret's body. When stomach acid becomes too strong, it can escape upward, causing that burning sensation we call heartburn. Baking soda is naturally alkaline, which means it can gently neutralize excess acid, bringing your stomach back into balance. It's not magic, it's chemistry. The same chemistry that's been helping people for over a century. Now, Margaret keeps a small container of baking soda by her kitchen sink. "It's become part of my evening routine," she says, "just like brushing my teeth or washing my face. One small glass, and I can rest peacefully. But Margaret learned something important along the way. This isn't something to use carelessly. She never takes more than half a teaspoon at a time, never more than once a day, and she always talks to her doctor about anything new she tries. It's not about replacing my medications, Margaret explains. It's about having one more gentle tool in my toolkit, something that helps me feel more in control of my own comfort. The relief in Margaret's voice when she talks about finally sleeping peacefully again, that's the difference a simple, natural remedy can make when used thoughtfully and with respect for your body's needs. Dr. Sarah Chen has been practicing nephrology for over 20 years at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. But it wasn't until she met 74-year-old Thomas that she truly understood the power of simple interventions. Thomas came to her office with test results that weren't encouraging. His kidney function was declining. His body was becoming too acidic, and conventional treatments weren't providing the support he needed. As Dr. Chen reviewed his case, she remembered something from her medical training that had almost been forgotten in the age of complex pharmaceuticals. "Thomas," she said gently, "I want to try something alongside your current treatment. It's been used in hospitals for decades, but we've somehow stopped talking about it as much as we should." That something was therapeutic sodium bicarbonate, medical-grade baking soda. Dr. Chen explained how Thomas's kidneys were struggling to maintain the delicate pH balance his body needed. When our kidneys can't filter acid effectively, our blood becomes too acidic, creating a condition called metabolic acidosis. This doesn't just affect the kidneys. It impacts energy levels, bone health, and overall vitality. Think of your body like a finely tuned garden, Dr. Chen told Thomas. If the soil becomes too acidic, nothing can flourish. Your kidneys are like the gardeners, trying to keep everything in balance. Sometimes they just need a little help. Under Dr. Chen's careful supervision, Thomas began taking a precise amount of pharmaceutical-grade sodium bicarbonate daily. Not the baking soda from his kitchen, but a medical preparation designed specifically for kidney support. The results were remarkable. Within 8 weeks, Thomas's acid levels normalized. His energy returned. Most importantly, his kidney function stabilized. "I felt like I got my life back," Thomas says, his eyes bright with renewed hope. "I could garden again, play with my grandchildren, take evening walks with my wife. I hadn't realized how much the fatigue was stealing from me." Dr. Chen has since helped dozens of patients with similar protocols. But she's adamant about one thing. This isn't something to try on your own. The kidneys are incredibly sophisticated organs, she explains. While baking soda can be wonderfully supportive when used correctly, kidney health requires professional monitoring. The difference between helpful and harmful can be measured in teaspoons. For people with healthy kidneys who want to support their body's natural pH balance, Dr. Chen recommends starting with the gentlest approach. 1/4 teaspoon of pure baking soda in 8 ounces of water, no more than 3 times per week, and always with a doctor's awareness. Your body has an amazing capacity to heal and rebalance itself, Dr. Chen says. Sometimes it just needs the right support, given in the right way, at the right time. That's not just good medicine. That's wisdom. Thomas nods in agreement. At 76 now, he's living proof that sometimes the most powerful solutions are also the simplest ones. Linda Martinez had always been private about personal matters. At 68, the retired librarian from Phoenix valued her independence and rarely complained about anything. But the recurring urinary discomfort was becoming impossible to ignore. It started as a mild irritation, the kind of thing she thought would go away on its own. But weeks turned into months, And what began as occasional discomfort became a constant, nagging presence that affected everything from her sleep to her confidence leaving the house. I felt embarrassed, Linda admits quietly. I'd raised 5 children, managed a library for 30 years, survived my husband's illness and passing. But this small thing was making me feel so vulnerable. Linda's doctor had prescribed medications that helped somewhat, but the relief was temporary, and she worried about taking antibiotics repeatedly. She was searching for something gentler, something that could work alongside her medical care, without adding more harsh chemicals to her system. That's when her daughter shared something she'd learned from her own doctor. "Mom, what about trying baking soda water? Not instead of your medicine, but maybe it could help make you more comfortable between treatments." Linda researched carefully, as librarians do. She learned that baking soda can help create a less hospitable environment for bacteria by gently alkalizing the urinary tract. It's not a cure, but it can provide supportive comfort. She started slowly and carefully. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in a tall glass of water, sipped slowly once a day. She continued her prescribed treatments, but added this gentle support to her routine. The relief wasn't dramatic or immediate, Linda explains. But gradually, I noticed the constant discomfort was less intense. I felt more like myself again. What Linda discovered is something that nurses have known for generations. The body's natural healing processes work better when they're supported, not overwhelmed. Sometimes the gentlest approach is the most effective one. I still see my doctor regularly, Linda is careful to emphasize. This isn't about replacing medical care. It's about being an active participant in my own comfort and well-being. Now, Linda keeps a small notebook where she tracks how she feels each day. It helps me notice patterns, she says. I can see what works, what doesn't, and share that information with my healthcare team. The confidence in Linda's voice when she talks about taking charge of her daily comfort is inspiring. She's found a way to support her body gently while working with her medical team, creating a comprehensive approach that honors both professional care and personal empowerment. Robert Thompson built houses for 47 years in Austin, Texas. His hands shaped homes where families would laugh, cry, and build their lives. Those same hands, strong and capable, also developed arthritis, high blood pressure, and eventually gout. The first gout attack hit Robert like lightning on a Tuesday morning. He woke up with his big toe on fire, swollen to twice its normal size, so tender that even the weight of a bedsheet was unbearable. "I've broken bones, cut myself with power tools, worked through heat exhaustion," Robert says, his voice carrying the weight of experience. But gout pain? That's something else entirely. It stops your life cold. Robert's doctor explained that gout happens when uric acid builds up in the blood and forms sharp crystals in the joints. The pain is intense because those crystals are literally cutting into soft tissue. The medications helped, but Robert hated how they made him feel sluggish and worried about their long-term effects on his already stressed kidneys. He needed something more, something that could work with his body's natural healing process. That's when Robert's VA doctor mentioned something interesting. "You know, Robert, there's some evidence that alkalizing your body might help reduce uric acid levels. It's not going to replace your medication, but it might provide additional support." Robert learned that baking soda could help his kidneys eliminate uric acid more effectively by making his urine less acidic. When the body is more alkaline, uric acid dissolves better and can be flushed out more easily. He started with a careful protocol. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in 8 ounces of water, twice daily between meals. He monitored his blood pressure closely since baking soda contains sodium, and he kept detailed notes about his pain levels and energy. The change wasn't overnight, Robert explains. But after about 6 weeks, I realized I was having fewer flare-ups. And when they did come, they weren't quite as devastating. Robert's success comes from his methodical approach. He treats gout management like a construction project. Careful planning, quality materials, consistent execution, and regular assessment. I still take my medications. I still watch my diet, and I still see my doctor regularly, Robert emphasizes. But adding this simple, alkalizing support has given me back some control over my condition. At 71, Robert still builds things, just smaller projects now. Garden boxes for his wife, toy chests for grandchildren. His hands may show the wear of decades, but his spirit remains as strong as the houses he built. Karen Williams had always been meticulous about her appearance. As a 72-year-old retired teacher from Vermont, she took pride in staying well-groomed and confident. But lately, something was stealing that confidence away, one conversation at a time. It started with small things. She'd catch herself covering her mouth when she laughed. She'd step back slightly during conversations. She'd become hyper-aware of the taste in her mouth, especially first thing in the morning. I was developing what my grandmother would have called old person breath, Karen says with characteristic honesty. And it wasn't just about vanity. It was affecting how comfortable I felt around my grandchildren, how close I wanted to sit during family dinners. Karen had tried everything the drugstore offered. Special toothpastes, mouthwashes, breath mints, even expensive probiotics marketed for oral health. Some helped temporarily, but nothing provided the lasting freshness she remembered from her younger years. During a routine dental cleaning, Karen mentioned her concern to her hygienist, Maria, who had been caring for Karen's teeth for over a decade. "You know, Mrs. Williams," Maria said thoughtfully, "your teeth and gums look healthy. Sometimes persistent breath issues are about pH balance in the mouth. Have you ever tried a baking soda rinse?" Maria explained that as we age, our mouths can become more acidic, creating an environment where odor-causing bacteria thrive. Baking soda, being naturally alkaline, can help restore a healthier balance. It's not harsh like some commercial mouthwashes, Maria continued. And it's been used safely for generations. My grandmother swore by it. That evening, Karen mixed 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda into a cup of warm water, stirring until it dissolved completely. She used it as a gentle mouth rinse after her regular brushing routine, swishing for 30 seconds before spitting it out. The difference was subtle at first, but within a week, Karen noticed her mouth felt fresher throughout the day. The morning taste that had bothered her for months was significantly improved. "It's such a small thing," Karen reflects, "but it gave me back my confidence in close conversations. I stopped worrying about stepping back from my grandchildren when they wanted to whisper secrets in my ear." Karen's approach is characteristically thorough. She uses the rinse 3 times per week, never more, and she's careful not to swallow it. She also continues her regular dental care and uses it as a supplement to, not a replacement for, proper oral hygiene. Sometimes the simplest solutions are hiding in plain sight, Karen says with a smile that she no longer feels the need to hide. At 67, Mike Rodriguez refuses to act his age. The retired firefighter from San Diego starts every day at 5:30 a.m. with a 3-mile walk along the beach, followed by light weights and stretching. His wife jokes that he's in better shape now than when he was fighting fires at 30, but Mike was facing a problem that threatened his active lifestyle. After his morning workouts, his muscles would ache for hours, sometimes days. The soreness was becoming more intense and lasting longer, making him dread the very activities he loved most. I'd wake up feeling great, excited for my morning routine, Mike explains. But by afternoon, I'd be hobbling around like I'd run a marathon instead of taking a gentle walk. Mike's doctor assured him that some muscle soreness was normal, especially as we age and our bodies take longer to recover. But Mike wasn't ready to accept that this was just his new reality. During a conversation at the fire station's monthly retiree breakfast, Mike mentioned his frustration to Tommy, a fellow retiree who had become something of a fitness enthusiast in his 70s. "You know what changed everything for me?" Tommy said, leaning in conspiratorially. "Baking soda water after workouts. Sounds crazy, but it works." Tommy explained that intense exercise creates lactic acid in muscles, and that excess acid is what causes much of the burning and soreness we feel afterward. Baking soda, being alkaline, can help neutralize that acid buildup. "Think of it like putting out a fire," Tommy said, grinning at the firefighter analogy. "You don't fight acid with more acid. You need something to neutralize it." Mike researched the science and was intrigued. Studies showed that sodium bicarbonate could indeed help buffer lactic acid production and reduce exercise-induced muscle fatigue. He started with a simple protocol: 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda in 12 ounces of water. Consume slowly about 30 minutes after his morning workout. He was careful to monitor how his body responded and never exceeded the recommended amount. The results were remarkable. Within 2 weeks, Mike noticed that his post-exercise recovery was dramatically improved. The deep muscle aches that used to plague his afternoons became minor, manageable sensations. "I felt like I'd found the fountain of youth in my kitchen cabinet," Mike laughs. "Suddenly, I could do my morning routine without paying for it all day long." Now Mike shares his discovery with other active seniors, always emphasizing the importance of proper dosing and listening to your body. At 69, he's still walking those beach miles every morning, still lifting weights, still refusing to let age define his limitations. There's something beautiful about balance. Watch a master craftsman at work, or observe a dancer in motion, and you'll see that the most graceful, effective actions come from perfect equilibrium. Your body seeks this same balance every single day, in ways you might never have considered. Inside your body, there's a delicate dance happening between acids and alkalines. This balance, measured on something called the pH scale, affects everything from how well your cells function to how energetic you feel when you wake up in the morning. As we age, our bodies can gradually become more acidic. This happens for many reasons. The foods we eat, the medications we might need, even the natural changes in how our organs function over time. When this balance tips too far toward acidic, we might experience fatigue, poor digestion, weakened bones, or a general sense that we're not feeling as vibrant as we once did. Think of your body like a garden. When soil becomes too acidic, plants struggle to absorb nutrients, even if those nutrients are present. They become weak, their growth slows, and their natural resilience diminishes. But when the pH is balanced, everything flourishes. This is where something as simple as baking soda water can play a gentle, supportive role. Used mindfully and appropriately, it can help nudge your body's pH back toward that sweet spot where everything works more efficiently. But here's what's crucial to understand. This isn't about dramatic changes or quick fixes. It's about providing gentle, consistent support that works with your body's natural wisdom, not against it. The most important word in this entire conversation is gently. Your body has spent decades learning how to maintain itself. It doesn't need shock or force. It needs thoughtful support and patience. When you provide that support, remarkable things can happen. Energy that felt depleted can return. Comfort that seemed lost can be found again. The vitality that you thought was gone forever might surprise you by quietly returning. This is the gift of working with your body instead of against it, of choosing natural support over harsh interventions when possible, of remembering that sometimes the most powerful medicine comes not from a pharmacy, but from understanding and honoring the beautiful, complex system that has carried you through all these years of life. Your body is wise. It knows how to heal. Sometimes it just needs a gentle reminder of its own strength. Please remember, this information is for educational purposes only and should not replace professional medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making changes to your health routine, especially if you have existing medical conditions or take medications.